Good afternoon to you. What is the actual impact of today's rulings?
Well, essentially, Stephen Curtis, it means that there's nothing stopping President Cyril Ramaphosa or KZN Premier Ziyanda Zikalala from actually issuing the certification of King Zulu King Zwelithini. Why do I say this? Well, basically, Judge Mjabuliseni Madondo saying that this process that unfolded in court here today has no material impact on the succession to the throne, emphasizing the fact that the royal family, which he says, according to statutes, is mandated to actually make the decision on who ascends to the throne, and that the family met on the 14th of May 2021, wherein they made a decision to nominate Prince Zulu to become the rightful heir to the throne, and there was no dispute at that meeting. In fact, he says the two princesses who brought a court application disputing then the signatures on the will of the late king were not present at that meeting on the 14th of May, and says there are no disputes even from within the royal family other than these two princesses who actually did not explain why they went at that meeting disputing the ascension to the throne of Prince Zulu. But to talk more about the legal aspects of what took place in court today is legal expert Mpumelelo Zikalala. So there were three things that happened here today. The first was to basically give an outcome on the claim by the first Queen Sibongile Dlamini-Zulu, who said she was entitled to half of the king's estate because she's married to him in community of property. The second was then the validity of the will, which the judge said another court, a trial court, must determine that. And the third is speaking to what I've just mentioned about the attempt by Prince Mpumelelo Zulu, the half-brother of the late king, to try and halt the coronation of, any coronation for that matter, regardless of whether it was Prince Zulu. Why do you think, Judge Madondo spent so much time on that aspect? Because in many ways he was confirming that the courts are giving permission to the president to certify Prince Zulu.
Sometimes in judgments there's a certain section called the obiter, which is a discretion or the view of the court pertaining to a matter that may not be explicitly being asked by the applicants to deal with. So in this case, Judge Madondo was saying this is a matter of national importance. This is a matter in which, if you look at the papers, no matter how you look at it, somewhere, somehow there is reference to the throne, somewhere, somehow there is reference to the meeting which has taken place, and it is definitely a matter of interest between both parties. So they have not have explicitly stated it on their papers. However, it is something that they have interest in. Now, what he was doing was saying, I will not seek to pronounce on the merits of the matter because that's what I've not been asked to decide. However, what I will do is state the legal framework surrounding the manner in which this type of particular applications or this type of meetings should be handled. That's why he was quoting the customary law. That's why he was quoting instances of the Khoisan and Traditional Leadership Act, which is an act that has been recently passed, emphasizing the very important points that has to be satisfied if that particular act is complied with. And it's important when it comes to the coronation of the Zulu King. And basically saying, maybe I don't want you to come back here in order for you to decide this particular matter. So in order for me to dispense with it once and for all, let me pronounce on it so that whoever would have another sort of dispute will have to come and deal with it as and when the coronation is about to take place.
Well, that's Mpumelelo Zikalala, Stephen Curtis. He is a legal expert, basically saying that the ball is now back in President Cyril Ramaphosa's court, because even according to customary law, it's Prince Zulu who is the rightful heir to ascend to the throne and become the king of the amaZulu nation.
Ziyanda Ngcobo, thanks very much indeed for that live update. Our senior political reporter.